These are my top 10 favorite figures of 2025. So, what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? dd19 here, and today we are going to go over my top 10 favorite figures of 2025 with some honorable mentions. Yes, it's that time of year where everybody goes over their favorite things of 2025, and for figure collectors, it's of course action figures. Also, just keep in mind these are figures I've collected throughout 2025 that are just my personal favorites. I'm not saying they're the best figures of 2025, they're just my personal favorite figures that I picked up throughout the year. So now, without further ado, let's get into my honorable mentions, which you see right here. I only have 6 of them. I didn't want to get too crazy. I do have 3 Marvel Legends, though, and starting in the front there, we have the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Wolverine that came in a 2-pack with Silver Samurai. That Silver Samurai was just straight garbage. That is a horrible, horrible figure. I don't know why they made that figure so bad. This Wolverine is really, really good, though. What kept him off the list is every other previous Wolverine we got from Hasbro, he's always had a bootcut swivel. And for some reason, they said, nah, let's not give it to him this time when we're giving him some awesome articulation. It's like, really? So yeah, that to me sucked. And then just he didn't really have, great accessories either. He really doesn't. He has like the slashing effects, and I think he has alternate hands without the claws or something like that. I feel like he should add like an alternate face or something, and at least that. But yeah, I wanted to throw him on honorable mentions because I really do like this figure. Behind him, we have the Maximum Series Hulk. This is a really good Hulk figure. The one thing I didn't really care for is how they gave you 3 different versions of Hulk's face sculpts from different versions of comic books. I would have preferred just one, and then they could have made another one with 3 faces of that version. I just wasn't a big fan of that. The accessories are really cool though with this figure, and I do like the paintwork on the skin tone as well. They did a nice job with that, and I do like the rubber upper torso. Wasn't my absolute favorite figure, but I had to throw him on honorable mentions. Then the last Marvel Legends here on the honorable mentions is the comic version. I think it's called, or I don't know what the series is called, but it's that Silver Surfer. This did recently just release. I've always wanted to get a Silver Surfer in my collection. Yeah, it's on like the older mold. It doesn't have the updated neck articulation and torso articulation and stuff, but it is still a pretty damn cool Silver Surfer figure. And it does have the pinless joints. So next here for Black Series, I have 2 figures on here. So for the Clone Trooper, I believe his name is Gale, Galle. I love Clone Troopers. Yeah, they're clones and they all look the same, but they all have different personalities. But this one here by Hasbro, I think they did a really, really nice job with this one. And I just love the updated mold for the Clone Troopers. Next in the Black Series line, we do have Savage Opress. I feel like this was Hasbro's one of their best figures in the Black Series line in 2025. They did a fantastic job with the figure, the detail, great work on that. The articulation is really, really good on this figure. They do give you his double-bladed lightsaber, and then you do get like that axe or bladed weapon as well. Wish he would have, came with a force-using hand. I don't know why they don't like giving force users at least one force using hand. Like, come on, Hasbro. What are you guys doing? Give us some force using hands for God's sake. But really, besides that, they did an excellent job with Savage Press. And last here, we have the SH Figure Arts reissue-ish Yoda from Revenge of the Sith. I remember the original version had the plastic Jedi robe. This one has a cloth wired one, which is definitely an upgrade. And I believe this one comes with the slashing lightsaber blade effect when the other one did not. But they did a really nice job with this Yoda. They did before, but this one, just that slight upgrade with the cloth goods makes it so much better. And Yoda and Darth Maul are just 2 of my absolute favorite Star Wars characters. So there's the honorable mentions. Now let's get into my top 10 favorite figures of a 2025 list. And coming in here at number 10 is the SH Figuarts Let the Games Begin Super Saiyan Goku. And I am so glad we got an updated Super Saiyan Goku, especially with this new body mold and that new updated articulation. This figure is tons of fun to pose around. You do get that great price tag at $35. But for his accessories, you just get the basic stuff, hands and faces, which is fine for the price point. Detail is also done very, very well throughout the entire figure. The sculpted wrinkles throughout his gi. We do get some shading on the legs and the hair and stuff. So I do definitely appreciate that. But this is a great figure. And this body mold needs to keep moving forward with not just Goku and Vegeta, with other characters as well. So that's my number 10 pick. Now coming in at number 9 is the SH Figuarts Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. I loved when they originally released this Obi-Wan, but now with the cloth goods, and I believe this face sculpt is new as well, it really upped the figure. This is now my favorite Obi-Wan figure. I love the cloth wire Jedi robe. They're doing a really good job with them. Even Qui-Gon's turned out really good. And then Mace Windu has one as well. So now just adding that little bit, like what I said with Yoda, my honorable mentions, it really does elevate the figure. The accessories are great. You get force using hands, two different kinds. You get a couple different gripping hands. You get his lightsaber, the swinging lightsaber blade effect as well. So you do get a lot of stuff with them. Detail really well done. Both face sculpts look just like Ewan McGregor as he did as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel movies. And this is probably one of my favorite figures in my collection. That's why I put him in at number 9. Now, coming in at number 8, and that is the Buzzmod Genya. Now, some collectors didn't seem to like this figure, but I think Buzzmod did a very nice job with Genya here. Like usual with the Buzzmod Demon Slayer figures, you get a ton of accessories with Genya here, hands, faces, his weapons, and other stuff. So that's definitely a plus. I think the detail is really well done. Also, you get the cloth goods for his vest type piece, and it is wired at the bottom as well. And the articulation is pretty damn good. I mean, Buzzmod does do some nice movement with their figures. One issue is his arms, and I've noticed this with just their figures in general. They like to pop off at the shoulder, which is very, very irritating. Buzzmod, fix that. Man, you guys made a ton of figures already. Like, come on already. But yeah, Genya, I think, turned out really good. I love his demon face with the yellow tips and the hair. Just very, very cool looking. And I'm so glad somebody made a Genya. And I'm sure Tamashii Nations is going to make one pretty soon, actually. But yeah, Genya definitely had to come in at number 8 on my list. Now, coming in at number 7, and that is the Mess Toys Superior Spider-Man. Now, this Mess Toys is kind of like a knockoff Amazing Yamaguchi, but they've been doing their own Spider-Man characters, so they like resculpt and retweak stuff, but they've really based it off the 2.0 Spider-Man from Amazing Yamaguchi. But this figure, my god, man, for 45 bucks, look at this. You get a ton of accessories. The detail is beautifully done throughout the entire figure. They just, with all their figures lately, they do a fantastic job with the detail. And then the articulation, do I really need to say anything? It's pretty much Amazing Yamaguchi, so you know you're going to have some of the best articulation on this figure. I had to throw this on my list. Yeah, it's a third party company, but my god, man, third party companies are just tearing up the game as of late, and I'm loving it. You don't have to, if Amazing Yamaguchi did this, you'd be paying like double, like 90 bucks instead of 45 for this. I highly recommend this and the Symbiote Spider-Man. They did another one too, and Venom and Scarlet Spider are next, and I cannot wait. But yeah, definitely had to throw this in on my list at number 7. Now moving on to number 6, and that is the SH Figuarts Portgas D Ace. And this is hands down the best figure in the line currently at the moment. I think Usopp is ranking up there as well, and the Romance Dawn Zoro. This Ace, best figure in the line to date as right now. The accessories are just like, holy shit. Tamashii Nations gave you so much stuff with this ace. It's like unbelievable because they don't really do that as much as they used to anymore. So that's shockingly surprising, but I love all the accessories is included with detail extremely on point, and the articulation is really, really good on this figure. And if you did own the Variable Action Heroes one or do, it's pretty much identical to that. Like, same with the articulation. articulation and stuff, but a little bit smaller. But yeah, this definitely had to be kind of high up on my list here because Tamashii Nations really, really did kill it with this ace, and I had to throw him in at number 6. Now moving on to number 5, and that is the amazing Yamaguchi Genos from One Punch Man. Now, if you saw our live of our top 5 favorite figures of 2025, you'll know my top 5 figures here. And yeah, man, amazing Yamaguchi, Revoltech, they killed it with this Genos. Their Saitama's just as awesome, but Genos, he's more of one of my favorite characters in the series. That's why I put him on here. And yeah, I did give him a custom sleeveless white hoodie that I did buy off eBay for anybody who does want to get one for their Genos as well. But he is included with some of the coolest accessories that I've seen, like a cyborg figure included with. The articulation, you guys know, amazing Yamaguchi, you're going to have some of the best movement with this figure with their articulation. And the detail is also really, really well done on this. So far, I am absolutely loving Revoltech's amazing Yamaguchi One Punch Man line, and I'm so excited now for Garu. But yeah, man, Genos here, if you do remove his, because he is included with a vest, you can remove it or leave it on, but if you remove it, you see all his, like, robotics underneath, which is really, really cool. But yeah, man, Genos definitely had to come in at number 5. Now, coming in at number 4, and that is the SH Figure Arts Ren Goku. Now, this figure actually took me by surprise as to how much I really love this figure. And at the moment, him and another figure I feel like are the best in the line. I really did not expect to have Rengoku on my list, but since he's not like Zenitsu, Tanjiro, and Giyu, who have the horrible plastic articulated robes that to me almost ruin the figures. You can, update them and give them cloth wired ones, but Rengoku, he just has a cape. So even if you don't upgrade yours like what I did with mine, you could just remove that, but it really doesn't get in the way either, which is a plus. And that's why I feel like he is one of the better figures in the line currently. And if you do upgrade him, he is so much more awesome. But yeah, the articulation really good on this figure. Like, these Demon Slayer figures are fantastic, but figures or characters wearing the robes, it really does kind of ruin the figures a bit. I wish they would switch to cloth wired goods for that, like Buzzmod. But the detail on this is awesome. I also absolutely love the accessories, specifically because we do get the bloody face, which I do have on the figure right here, and I love that they are including, bloody faces or battle damage with blood more often on the figures. Hope we see more of that in the future. But yeah, definitely had to throw. God, I couldn't say that tongue twister. Rengoku at number 4 on my list. Now moving on to my top 3, and coming in at number 3 is the Medi Toys TMNT Leonardo. This is a beautiful figure. The detail, paint, sculpt, all that, some of the best I've ever seen on a figure. You get a nice wash all throughout it. The paintwork is fantastic on this figure, man. The accessories are a bit overwhelming with how many accessories you get with the figure, but I love it. You can never go wrong giving too many accessories. The articulation for the most part is good. I mean, it's a Ninja Turtle, so the torso is kind of, not the best, but I kind of like what they did. They did put a cut in the midsection there, and the shell you can articulate as well. For me, the biggest downside with the articulation is from the knees down to like the ankles, there is no swivel. And as I mentioned with the Gamerverse Marvel Legends Wolverine, he didn't have the boot cut swivel. To me, that almost ruins a figure. Like, you really can't, get some good lower leg movement because you can't swivel that down there. And also at their hips, it does get a bit restricted by the front of the shell, so you can't really get them in some crazy crouching type poses. You can get like nice kicking poses and stuff like that, but yeah, like the lower legs, from the legs down, the lower legs, from the legs down, you don't get the best movement. But I mean, that's like the biggest negative with this figure. Also, the bandana ties, the pegs are so long, just keep in mind, don't peg them in all the way because you might risk breaking it if you try to swap it, which that did happen to one of my bandana ties, so just keep that in mind as well. If you watched our live, I did have him at number 2, but I had to swap him because he did have a couple issues, and the next figure here coming in at number 2 did not have issues like this, and that is the SH Figure Arts Romance Dawn Roanoa Zorro. Tamashii Nations definitely redeemed themselves tenfold with this Zorro, comparing it to their first Zorro that they made, the Wano version Zorro, that they screwed up so bad. It was one of the worst figures of, what was it, 2024? I forgot what year it was. I think it was last year. Or was it 2023? But it was, yeah, it was one of the worst figures of that year. This is one of the best figures, I think, of this year. Yeah, he's number 2 on my list, but this really is, I feel like, one of the best figures Tamashii Nations did put out this year. They did a very nice job with Zorro. Like I said, they definitely redeemed themselves. Detail, beautifully done throughout the entire figure. Articulation is so good on this Zorro as well. You can get him into all his 3-sword, 2-sword, 1-sword style poses, and I absolutely love that, man. And the accessories, pretty much just hands, faces. You get an alternate head, one with the bandana, one without, and then you do get his 3 swords with the sheaths. And then really that's it. I mean, no slash effects, and I would have liked maybe some other faces, but what can you do, man? I think the King of Hell Zoro, you'll be able to swap faces with this one. I could be wrong though, but yeah, man, this Zoro definitely one of my favorite figures of the year, and that's why I had to put him at number 2 on my list. And now coming in at number 1, some of you might have guessed it or already seen it on the live, and that is the SH Figure Arts Akaza. Akaza is just one of my favorite characters, period. So obviously, I knew he was going to be on my list once he released and I opened the figure. But Tamashii Nations really did do a very nice job with the figure. I did give him a cloth wired vest, which you can get on eBay if you're interested. He does have a plastic one, but it's fine. It's really, you don't need to swap it. It doesn't really hinder anything or get in the way, but I prefer cloth wired goods. But yeah, the detail on this, I think they really did capture the look of Akaza from Infinity Castle. The articulation is also another high point to this figure. They really worked in the movement real well with this Akaza, and it is like that newer updated articulation and body mold that we've been getting with like the newer Gokus and stuff. And then the accessories, they could have gave more with this, man. I mean, all he gets is a few faces and just a few hands. They didn't even give him a specific hand gesture that he does in the movie, which I wish they did give. Buzzmod gave that hand, but not Figure Arts, and they're basing this off the Infinity Castle Akaza. So I was a bit surprised we didn't get that. I'm surprised we didn't get any type of effects, man. I mean, come on, Tamashii Nations. So far, none of their Demon Slayer figures have had effects with them, which is really disappointing, man. And Akaza's would have been something real easy to give. But regardless of that, he's still my favorite figure that did release in 2025. I am a bit biased because he is my favorite character, but he is a really good figure. And I actually like this one, figure-wise, more than the Buzzmod one. Yeah, Buzzmod definitely wins with accessories, but I feel like articulation and detail, I think Figure Arts definitely wins that battle. But there you have it, my top 10 favorite figures of 2025. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know down in the comments your top 5 or top 10 favorite figures of 2025. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget, I will catch you on the next episode of Daredevil 19, and I will also see you guys later.
We shall start with revenge. I am the knight. Gonna change the future.